Welcome to the Line Life podcast. I'm Jeff Postlethwaite, Senior Editor, T&D World, and today we're bringing you more stories of the grit, courage, and inspirational teamwork that it takes to be a line worker.
Welcome to the T&D World Line Life podcast, produced by Endeavor Business Media, a division of Endeavor B2B. My name is Amy Fischbach, and I'm the field editor for T&D World and also the host of the Line Life podcast. Before I dive into today's episode, I invite you to become part of our Line Life podcast community by searching for the Line Life podcast in your favorite podcasting app or going to linelife.podbean.com and clicking follow in the top right. We air interview-style episodes on the first and third Fridays of each month and audio stories in our In Case You Missed It series featuring articles that appeared in our print magazine on the second and fourth Fridays of each month. If you have a comment on this episode or a suggestion for a future guest, please reach out to me. You can email me at amyfischbach@gmail.com or reach out to me on LinkedIn or at Lineman World on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. Now let's move on to today's episode. Not long ago, I featured an article called Mutual Aid Without a Storm about Light Up Navajo, which is organized by the Navajo Tribal Utility Authority, or NTUA, and the American Public Power Association, or APPA. And this humanitarian program brings first-time electricity to homes on Navajo Nation. And over the last few years, line workers from all over the country have traveled to Navajo Nation for a few weeks to help set poles and string lines and energize homes. And before I feature my interview today, I'd like to give a special shout out to these volunteers who spend time away from their homes and families to help out the homeowners on Navajo Nation through the Light Up Navajo project. Today, I have a very special guest who I met at the 2024 International Linemen's Expo, named Benjamin Charley, who is a journeyman line worker for the NTUA. Benjamin, welcome to Kansas City. It's great to have you here. I know you traveled with two others from the Navajo Tribal Utility Authority. Can you talk a little bit about your journey from Arizona to Kansas City and how you feel about being here for the International Linemen's Rodeo Week?
We're here from the Navajo Nation. This is our fourth event here for something like this, and I appreciate coming out, with my fellow linemen and working as we do, and just to have fun, with the coworkers.
And where did you travel from to get to Kansas City?
Well, for me, I'm from Delcon District, and another guy, he's from headquarters, and then headquarters meaning Winter Rock, Fort Defiance area. And then also I have another guy coming from Tuba City, all from different areas. We do the same thing.
And now can you talk about what you do for NTUA and how you got interested in becoming a line worker?
Before I started NTUA being as a line worker, I was working for the Navajo Housing Authority. I did that for over 20 years and got tired of being in the office, so
Sure.
I wanted to be out in the field. And which I got on, and which was good. I like to be out in the outdoors anyways. But the first year I was out there, I was out in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, snowing and pitch dark. And what did I do here?
Yeah.
Well, I was in a warm office at home, but now I'm out here. But,
Right.
I kind of got used to it. And now I love what I do.
Oh, that's fantastic. And how long have you been with the NTUA?
I've been there for 17 years now. I like what I do. And younger guys ask me, how do I get on? And then I tell them, sometimes it gets you away from your family and your hobbies, because when power goes out, that's the first thing that comes to your mind. You get the power on for the customers.
Absolutely. And then Benjamin, can you walk me through what a day in the life is like for you right now out in the field?
Right now, sometimes I don't have time for family,
Yes.
and with the storms that are coming in, wind bursts and all that, lines go down, poles go down. If the main source goes down, then we have to start switching, just to get power onto certain families. But because of the source comes from to a different area, and then we can't get power, so we're just in the dark on that one. So we just have to wait for the main utility company to have their power on to finally get to our customers.
Got it. And then how many customers do you serve throughout the Navajo Nation?
I'm not sure. Probably maybe 7,000. It's a long stretch.
I've heard that there's sometimes a long distance between the homes. Can you talk a little bit more about the work that's done with Light Up Navajo to provide first-time power?
That started out probably maybe this is 5 or 6 years now that it's going on. One year it didn't go because of the COVID. So everybody stopped there. And right now, it kicked back up, and there's utilities from all over the country now that are participating for 1 or 2 weeks to help build new lines to customers. And they're happy on what they're doing.
So talk about how that changes their life to have electricity for the first time.
They're excited. They're excited to have finally light. They don't have to buy no lanterns, no more candles. Whatever they do to get ready for the night, they have to do it during the day before the sun goes down. And then they'll have the light or even a generator. Some families, they keep buying generators after generators that won't last that long, and it breaks down, so they have to buy a new generator. And some of them have solar out there, and sometimes that solar doesn't work because however many devices that you have going on in the house, that solar battery will just die, and it'll kick off it by itself. A lot of times, there's families out there that are frustrated, why are not we building homes here and there? But there's a long process to going through to that to finally get the meter going in there and then have them power on.
And then, Benjamin, can you describe what line workers can expect if they volunteer for Light Up Navajo?
Help building lines. They're going to be happy to help the customer. And the main reward is seeing the smile on their customer's face. And they're going to turn on the light and they'll say, oh, yeah. And customers, they appreciate other linemen come from other companies, to come out and do what they can. That's all we can do. We just have to do what we can, go day by day. And if this year doesn't come around for them, and then the following year, and then they'll probably be on the list to finally get power.
Perfect. And then can you talk about how you help the volunteer line crews for Light Up Navajo? Because I've heard that NTUA sometimes works with these volunteer line workers side by side, or you have someone kind of go with the crews and show the line workers how to get around.
Yeah, I'm a journeyman I worked with the company, like I said, 17 years, and I took out some crews from Austin, Texas.
Okay.
They were with me for 2 weeks. And then North Carolina, they were out. Delaware was out. SRP, they were out. APS, so, and then the other crews near there, like Colorado, Utah, and I haven't really worked with them, but they were out all over the reservation. So, it's just kind of, they're spread out wherever they need them. It's fun, and I get good buddies with them. And so we're still longtime friends.
Oh, that's fantastic. The line trade, I've heard, is just like a really big family. I bet you're able to meet people from all over.
Yeah, I just met one guy. He said he's from Brazil. And, oh, you guys have plants over there? But, it's something new to me.
Yes.
This is the biggest place I've been to now. Big convention center like this, and meet some guys here and there. And it'd probably be good too, when I went to other lineman rodeos and we didn't have a certain tool, so we kind of asked someone else, another outfit, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's great.
So, that's buddy system right there, and we're just all helping each other out. We're just one big whole happy family, so.
And then talk about the International Linemen's Expo. Is there anything out here on the trade show floor that you can use for your crews back home?
Yeah, certain kind of tools, that we need. Or sometimes we have maybe vehicles or equipment that kind of break down that we need. Like maybe, let's just say a pressure digger or a digger derrick, those teeth that because of our terrain is so bad, we're just going through those auger bits like crazy. And we try and order them, and then it's taking longer than it needs to get ordered. So I'm trying to get information on that to where I can just go directly to them to see if we can get materials, something like that.
So talk about the terrain. I'm sure it's a lot different than what the line crews encounter here in the Midwest. So what are you encountering when you try to set poles? Are you running into rock?
Here they tell me it's kind of swampy and they don't need pressure diggers, just digger derrick only, which is the ground's a lot softer,
What's it like back home?
Back home, you're in one area, you have lava rock and sandstone.
Really?
And your digger derrick it'll only probably go like 6 inches. That's it.
Oh, interesting.
So you get a pressure digger in there, and then you just got to back it up straight, start punching that hole, and maybe one hole you'll take about maybe 2 or 3 hours, or one hole. Pressure out here, you're only doing it for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's a lot different. And is there any other special equipment that you're using now on Navajo Nation that they may not be using in other areas just because of the terrain?
Yeah, see, like some areas, none of them have pressure diggers.
Right.
North Carolina crew, they never knew what a pressure digger was. So we got them on there to learn it. And yeah, so we got them on there, one guy, teach him. And he's, oh yeah, I love this. We need one of these. But they're really good, they really listen. And we try and teach them the right way, how we build our lines.
Right.
So, they're getting there. By the time they leave, and then they're already like, yeah, you're doing good.
That's great. And then what do you see in the future for Light Up Navajo? Do you see the program continuing to grow?
Yeah, now our district is already lining up stuff for next coming year, like meter loops to small houses, hook-ons, original houses, big houses. So there's so many miles of line. Maybe there's 3-4 miles of line, then the ladder is going to each house. So.
And then in addition to Light Up Navajo, which the line crews are involved with, you also have a mutual aid program. And I think in the past you've had LADWP and its electricians help. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
I haven't really worked with that type of crew, but they're the same thing as Light Up Navajo, but it's mutual aid, different funding. And right now we have Austin, Texas, up in Kayenta area. And this is their last week up there. And they're the same guys that were in Delcon. So they called me, oh yeah, we're going up to the res again. I said, cool. They say, we want to come back to Delcon. I said, no, you go elsewhere, see the different areas, where you're going to be working at, not us where I'm at. Yeah. I know I'm a good guy, but
right.
Go that way. But it's fun, I like to get new guys, new friends.
That's great. And I think a lot of our readers are familiar with Light Up Navajo because we featured it in our magazine. But can you give a brief overview of this project for our Line Life podcast listeners who may not be familiar with it?
What it is mainly to me is there's a lot of customers out there that have no power, and we only have a certain amount of employees at different districts to build the lines. So when other outfits come out here, they kind of assist us in building the new lines, which will make things go a lot quicker. Like Austin, Texas, they had about almost 20 guys come out, which we got more meters going, probably doing about 1 or 2 houses a day. So while they were here, so we're running and gunning, but we try and tell them, slow down, right. We don't want you to get hurt. But we want to get this customer on tonight. Say, tomorrow's another day, slow down. Don't push yourself.
No, that's good. And Benjamin, is there anything else that you'd like to say about the Light Up Navajo project for our Line Life podcast listeners?
Right now, it's, if you guys want to help out, your companies want to help out other companies in your area, or other linemen that's listening to this, you guys are welcome to come out and help out. Just probably talk to the main office in Fort Defiance, and they can get you on. So we'd like to see you guys out there. It's just same thing you guys do every day. Just be safe. And that's it. Go home, your families, your loved ones. And you don't have to be a rush job, especially if you're working live line, even the coal line, you just go slow. Take care of yourself.
Well, Benjamin, it was wonderful to meet you, and thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Line Life podcast.
Yep, no problem. So it was nice to be here, and nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you at the next Lineman's Expo. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Line Life podcast, produced by Endeavor Business Media, a division of Endeavor B2B. Be sure to subscribe or follow the Line Life podcast in your favorite podcasting app so new episodes are delivered straight to you. For more insights, you can visit our website at tdworld.com/podcasts or linelife.podbean.com. You can also connect with us by following us on Instagram at Lineman World or Twitter, and you can also visit Team D World on LinkedIn and Facebook. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Line Life podcast.